Welcome to the 6th video in my indoor weather station tutorial series, and in this video I'd like to talk about the Linux terminal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the terminal and the file manager, so I would like to show you something. Namely, one of the most important concepts to think about is that while we're executing commands in the terminal, we are always currently located somewhere in our file system. So at the moment, what this is saying is, this is me, and I'm currently located at tilde. And what tilde is this directory right here. So under the root and home, this py directory. And I can prove that by using the command pwd, which means print working directory. And it says that I'm in /home/py, which is right here. Now, in order to find out what is inside this directory, let's say I didn't have the file manager open, I can use ls, which I guess means list or something, and it'll just give me the names of all the directories and files that are within home/py. Now, if I were to create a file within the terminal, it would currently save it just somewhere here. So let's go ahead and make a new directory by using the command mkdir, and we'll call it data logging. And you can see that now this new folder has popped up here. So if now we want to go into this folder and create a file, we can change the directory cd data logging. And now it's telling me that we are in our sort of home base /data logging, which is currently here. Okay, so now let's create a Python file. Now we could use a program here that is installed in the Raspberry Pi, but we can also do it completely via the terminal. For instance, by using the program nano, which we can use via the terminal, and we'll just call this test.py, which is going to be a Python file. So this is saying, nano, please open a new file called test.py. And this is just a very simple editor. So we will simply print, this is a Python command, hello. Okay, now we're finished, we want to get back, we need to exit. So it's giving you the shortcut here, this is Control X. Then it's saying save modified buffer, yes, I want to save, so I'll enter Y. And I was just asking me to confirm that I want to write, so I will say yes. Okay, and now this test.py has come up here. So now if I want to execute this, I can ask through the terminal, I can ask Python, the program Python, to execute test.py. And it knows that I mean this test.py and not a test.py that is anywhere else, because I'm currently in this data logging directory. So if I press enter, it'll just execute that file, which was to print hello. I could also open Python within the terminal. Now I'm in Python, so now I can just execute Python commands like print hi, and it'll do so. And I can quit to exit and get back to where I was before that. So there are a couple of other important commands, like I can copy test.py, and I can copy it to become test1.py. Now if I do this, it'll copy test.py within the same directory. If I wanted to copy test.py to another directory, then I would have to specify the entire path. So I could do home py, let's see, desktop, and call it test2.py, for instance. So let's just see if that worked. There it is. And probably I can change the directory to py desktop. There we go. Now I can ls here and it'll come up with that test.py. And now I can remove test2.py. And if I now do ls, it is no longer there. Let's check. Yeah, it's no longer there. So now I will go back to my original directory, and to do so, what I can do is do cd ... and it'll go up a notch. And now if I do ls again, I'm back to where I was originally. And now I can go back into data logging. Now, data logging is quite a long word. So what I can do is I can start typing it, and DA is unambiguous. There are no other folders here that start with DA. So if I now hit tab, it'll auto complete it for me, and I can go into data logging. Whoops. So I'm back here now. Okay, I think I've just double-clicked this test.py. So let's see what happens, which program it's going to open it with. Okay, so I opened it with a program called Funny. And I often use this to write my my Python files because I just find it a little bit easier because it's got this nice, because it's got this a little bit more elaborate interface that I find better than just hard coding in the terminal. I'm going to close that again. Nope. So now I'm back into data logging. I will remove test1.py. And I will create another directory called test. And I can also, I'll try to remove test. That doesn't work because test is a directory. So for that, we need to say remove directory, rmdir, and test. So now if I go back upwards, so now I am here again. Oops. Let's say I want to delete data logging. So that's the same command that I used here. Now, using past commands, you can actually just use the upwards arrow key to scroll through all the last commands that you used. So this one, if I repeat that one, okay, it still has test there. There's no directory called test, so I'll go up again, remove that and say data logging, and I can auto complete that. It's telling me that it can't remove data logging because the directory isn't empty. So for directories that have content, you have to say remove -r, which means remove recursively, and now we can remove that. But of course, I would like to keep that directory. So, whoops, so we'll recreate it. Okay. Sometimes if this becomes a little bit cluttered and you want to start from scratch, you can use clear to just, well, start again empty. Now, what I want to do next is to install some stuff. So generally, we need to use sudo to give us administration privileges. And then generally, we usually use the program apt-get to install things. And so here we've specified the program, and I will specify the command, which is to install stuff. And we can either type in a single package or several, just delimited by a space. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to install build essential and python-pip and python-dev and python-smbus. And lastly, git. What did I do here? Okay, there we go. And now I'll go ahead and install all of those, and I'll report back to you when that's done. Oh, okay, that went quicker than I thought. So that was fairly easy to get those installed. The thing about this method is that what basically happens is that in the background, the Raspberry Pi looks in some files with some lists of where to look for these packages. And sometimes the packages you're looking for are not actually installable this way. So for instance, there's one library that we might need later on, which is this Adafruit Python GPIO. And Adafruit has created this and uploaded it to GitHub, which is a website. And here it gives you all kinds of information about it and so on. And I think we might need it later on. And here they actually tell you how to install it. And first it has some dependencies. So that means it builds on some other libraries, and those are just the ones that we just installed. So now that we've got that out of the way, we can now go in here and download their library that builds upon these other libraries. And the setup procedure for that is a little bit more complicated. So you could go to clone and download, which basically means it just takes the content and saves it for you in a zip file. But since we installed Git, we have now a program that is called Git that with which you are able to sort of automate a lot of this process. So what we need to do is basically this right here. So I'll just copy this and paste it here. And so now it is actually cloned, so it's basically downloaded this folder right here. And then next, and they give us the instructions here, we need to go into this folder and start the setup file. Okay, so we're going to cd into Adafruit, and then they tell us to sudo python setup. So sudo, so we have administration privileges, use the program Python to execute setup.py, and within that setup file there's a function called, is that even correct? Yes, install. So let's see what happens. Okay, and now it's running that little routine that is within this file, which is located within that folder. Okay, I sped that up, even though it didn't actually take so long. Just a couple of finishing remarks. You can also use the terminal to shut down the Raspberry Pi, and if you want to do it straight away, you need to do -h now. Or you can also use it to reboot. Anyway, that was it for now. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.